When most people think of Rick Ross, they picture luxury cars, diamond chains, and platinum records. But in 2026, that image barely scratches the surface. Because while many rappers spend their money on flashy purchases, Rick Ross has quietly built something much bigger. A business empire anchored by sprawling real estate, multiple companies, private aviation, and one of the most jaw-dropping celebrity estates in America. At the heart of it all sits Promised Land. Calling it a mansion almost feels misleading. With hundreds of acres, dozens of rooms, horse stables, lakes, event spaces, and enough land to feel like its own small town, Promised Land has become more than a home. It's the ultimate symbol of Ross' transformation from rapper to entrepreneur. Ross himself has described it as bigger than the projects, and has emphasized his long-term belief in real estate investing rather than flipping properties. And that's only the beginning. While fans were busy talking about his music and his latest feud with 50 Cent, Ross was expanding his portfolio even further. From his luxury Star Island waterfront mansion in Miami to his Gulfstream private jet, exotic car collection, restaurant franchises, and dozens of business partnerships, Ross continues building an empire that reaches far beyond hip-hop. He has also said that online estimates of his net worth have never accurately reflected his finances, explaining that he focuses on building wealth through multiple ventures rather than relying solely on music. Perhaps the most surprising part. Despite owning one of America's most famous celebrity estates, Rick Ross still enjoys climbing onto a John Deere tractor to mow hundreds of acres himself, a routine that has become one of his signature social media moments. So how did a kid from Carol City, Florida, build one of the most extraordinary luxury lifestyles in hip-hop? What makes Promised Land unlike almost every other celebrity home? And why does Rick Ross believe real estate, not music, is one of the smartest investments he's ever made? Today, we are taking you inside Rick Ross' incredible empire, from the legendary Promised Land estate to his Miami waterfront mansion, luxury vehicles, private jet, business ventures, and the mindset that continues expanding his empire year after year. Long before Rick Ross became known for private jets, luxury estates, and million-dollar business deals, he was simply William Leonard Roberts II, a young man growing up in Carol City, Florida, with dreams far bigger than his surroundings. Friends remember him as someone who always thought big. Even as a teenager, Ross wasn't interested in living an ordinary life. He excelled in football, earned a scholarship to Albany State University, and studied criminal justice. At the time, very few people could have predicted that the quiet student sitting in class would eventually become one of hip-hop's most recognizable entrepreneurs. Yet even while pursuing higher education, music continued pulling him in another direction. It wasn't just a hobby, it gradually became the opportunity he believed could completely change his future. According to Ross, ambition was always at the center of everything he did. That mindset would later become the foundation of both his music and his business empire. Before the fame arrived, Ross also worked as a corrections officer, a chapter of his life that remains one of the most discussed aspects of his early career. Critics frequently reference that period after his rap career took off, while Ross largely focused on the future rather than the past. During the late 1990s, he immersed himself in Miami's underground rap scene, performing alongside the group Triple CS, Carol City Cartel, and slowly building a reputation through local performances and collaborations. One of his earliest major opportunities came through Miami rap star Trick Daddy, followed by an appearance on Trina's 2002 song Told Y'all. Those performances introduced listeners to Ross' unmistakable deep voice and commanding delivery. Still, he understood that talent alone wouldn't be enough. Building a lasting career required creating a memorable identity. That's when William Roberts adopted the stage name Rick Ross, inspired by the well-known figure Freeway Ricky Ross. The name immediately projected confidence, ambition, and larger-than-life success, qualities that would soon define his public image. Everything changed in 2006. Ross released Hustlin', and almost overnight, his career exploded. The unforgettable hook, "Everyday I'm Hustlin'," became one of the defining rap records of the decade. The song dominated clubs, radio stations, sporting events, and television, creating an intense bidding war among major record labels. Eventually, Def Jam, led by Jay-Z, secured Ross' signature. His debut album, Port of Miami, entered the Billboard 200 at number 1, proving the success of Hustlin' wasn't a one-hit phenomenon. More chart-topping albums followed, including Triller, Deeper Than Rap, and Teflon Dawn, firmly establishing Ross as one of hip-hop's biggest stars. But unlike many artists satisfied with music alone, Ross viewed fame as only the beginning. While his peers focused primarily on recording albums, he began thinking about ownership, investments, and creating businesses that could continue generating wealth long after music slowed down. That philosophy eventually led to the creation of Maybach Music Group, where Ross helped launch or elevate the careers of artists including Meek Mill, Whale, and Gunplay. Building a successful record label expanded his influence beyond his own albums and demonstrated that Ross wanted to become more than simply a rapper. Around the same time, he also began aggressively investing in real estate. Unlike many celebrities who frequently buy and sell luxury homes, Ross repeatedly explained that he preferred holding onto valuable properties. During interviews, he described real estate as one of the safest long-term investments available, emphasizing that while companies manufacture new cars every year, nobody can create new land. Ross proudly stated that nearly every property he has purchased has increased significantly in value over time. In one interview, he even mentioned owning homes he had never slept in because they functioned primarily as investments rather than residences. For Ross, property wasn't simply about showing wealth, it represented financial security and generational wealth. Nothing represents that philosophy better than promised land. When Ross first walked onto the enormous Georgia property, he later recalled immediately telling the real estate agent, "This is my house." The agent reportedly laughed, assuming he was joking because the estate seemed almost unimaginably large. Ross wasn't joking at all. Originally built for boxing legend Evander Holyfield, the property immediately captured his imagination. He has frequently described it as much more than a mansion, comparing it to an entire town because of its incredible size. While many celebrity homes measure a few acres, Promised Land spans hundreds of acres, making it one of the largest privately owned celebrity estates in America. Ross often jokes that the property is bigger than the projects, emphasizing just how overwhelming its scale feels even when standing on the land itself. Rather than purchasing the estate simply to impress visitors, Ross viewed it as another investment that could continue appreciating over time, while also serving as the ultimate expression of the lifestyle he had spent years building. What surprises many people even more is how Ross actually lives on the property. Despite its extraordinary luxury, he regularly shares videos showing himself climbing onto a John Deere tractor and mowing hundreds of acres of grass. During interviews, he has laughed about neighbors recognizing the giant tractor whenever he takes it out. Ross even joked that he had installed air conditioning, tinted windows, and a radio inside the machine to make long mowing sessions more comfortable. Rather than paying someone else to do every task around the estate, Ross appears to genuinely enjoy maintaining parts of the property himself. Those videos have become some of his most recognizable social media content because they reveal a side of Ross many fans don't expect, one where one of hip-hop's biggest stars happily spends hours cutting grass across an estate that seems almost impossible to fully comprehend. It's an image that perfectly captures the unusual blend of luxury, business, and personality that has made Promised Land one of the most talked about celebrity homes in America. If Promised Land established Rick Ross as the king of celebrity real estate, stepping through its gates explains exactly why people call it one of the most unbelievable homes in America. The property isn't simply large, it's almost impossible to comprehend until you start looking at the numbers. Originally built for boxing legend Evander Holyfield, the estate sits on roughly 235 acres, with Ross later expanding it by purchasing additional surrounding land. From above, the property resembles a private community more than a single residence. Ross often jokes that it's a town rather than a house, and after seeing everything inside, it's easy to understand why. Long winding driveways stretch across beautifully maintained landscapes, horses graze peacefully in open fields, and endless green lawns surround one of the largest private homes in the United States. The estate has become so famous that it regularly serves as the location for music videos, films, television productions, and Ross' own annual events. What began as a luxury purchase has evolved into one of the most recognizable celebrity properties in America. The mansion itself feels more like a luxury resort than a traditional home. With over 100 rooms, including 12 bedrooms and 21 bathrooms, every section of the residence was designed on a massive scale. Inside, polished marble floors reflect enormous crystal chandeliers hanging from soaring ceilings, while a dramatic grand staircase immediately reminds visitors they are entering something extraordinary. Ross has never hidden his appreciation for luxury, and every room reflects that philosophy. The property includes a professional-grade home theater, a fully equipped gym, multiple entertaining spaces, and perhaps most importantly for a musician, a private recording studio. Instead of traveling across town whenever inspiration strikes, Ross simply walks through his own home and begins recording. It's another example of how he has designed his lifestyle around convenience, creativity, and long-term ownership rather than temporary extravagance. Outside, the estate becomes even more impressive. One of Promised Land's biggest attractions is its enormous event space, which Ross regularly transforms into the site of his famous annual Rick Ross car and bike show. Thousands of fans travel from across the country to attend, filling the grounds with exotic cars, classic vehicles, motorcycles, celebrity guests, live performances, and family activities. The property has also hosted extravagant 4th of July celebrations and numerous charity events. Rather than keeping the estate hidden behind locked gates, Ross has repeatedly found ways to turn it into an experience that fans can actually enjoy. That decision has helped transform Promised Land from a private residence into an instantly recognizable part of his personal brand. Few celebrity homes have become tourist attractions in the way Ross Estate has. Yet despite all the luxury, Ross insists the property serves another purpose beyond entertaining guests. Over the years, he has gradually transformed Promised Land into a fully functioning ranch. The estate includes horse stables, open pastures, fishing ponds, and enough farmland to support livestock including cattle and even bison. Visitors frequently express surprise that one of hip-hop's biggest stars spends so much time discussing agriculture, farming, and land management. Ross often laughs about that reaction, explaining that real estate and land ownership have always fascinated him. To him, the ranch represents financial stability just as much as luxury. Unlike sports cars or jewelry, land generally appreciates over time, making it one of the smartest investments in his portfolio. That investment mindset appears repeatedly throughout Ross interviews, where he encourages young entrepreneurs to focus on acquiring appreciating assets rather than constantly chasing expensive purchases. Perhaps nothing captures Ross' personality better than his now famous lawn mowing routine. Social media users were initially stunned to see one of rap's wealthiest stars personally driving a massive John Deere tractor across hundreds of acres of grass. Ross later joked that the tractor itself had become part of his lifestyle, complete with tinted windows, air conditioning, and a sound system. Rather than viewing lawn care as work, he describes it as relaxing. Friends often join him, creating an atmosphere that feels less like maintenance and more like spending time together outdoors. Those videos have become some of Ross' most popular online content because they reveal a side of him that contrasts sharply with his luxurious public image. Instead of sitting inside the mansion all day, viewers regularly see Ross outdoors, managing his land, checking on animals, or simply enjoying the peaceful environment he spent years creating. As impressive as Promised Land is, it isn't Rick Ross' only remarkable residence. When he's ready to trade Georgia's quiet countryside for waterfront views and the energy of Miami, Ross heads south to another spectacular property, his luxury Star Island mansion. Purchased for approximately $35 million before undergoing extensive renovations, the waterfront estate showcases an entirely different side of Ross' lifestyle. While Promised Land emphasizes space, nature, and privacy, Star Island focuses on sleek architecture, luxury yachts, Biscayne Bay views, and one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Florida. Together, the two homes perfectly represent the two worlds Ross has built for himself, one centered on peaceful country living and long-term investment, the other embracing Miami's glamorous waterfront lifestyle. And that's only the beginning of an empire that also includes exotic cars, private aviation, restaurants, and dozens of business ventures. While Promised Land represents Rick Ross' peaceful country lifestyle, his Star Island mansion showcases an entirely different side of his empire. If the Georgia estate is where Ross escapes the spotlight, then Star Island is where he embraces it. Located in one of Miami's most exclusive waterfront communities, the property sits among homes owned by celebrities, professional athletes, and some of the wealthiest business leaders in the country. In 2023, Ross purchased the mansion for approximately $35 million and reportedly invested millions more renovating it to match his own vision of luxury. The result is a spectacular waterfront estate that perfectly complements Promised Land while reflecting a completely different lifestyle. Instead of rolling hills and horse pastures, Star Island offers breathtaking views of Biscayne Bay, private waterfront access, towering palm trees, and luxury yachts passing by throughout the day. Together, the two homes illustrate how Ross has built environments suited for every aspect of his personal and professional life. The Star Island residence immediately makes an impression from the moment visitors arrive. A private gated entrance opens onto a long driveway lined with mature palm trees, before leading to an elegant fountain welcoming guests outside the main entrance. Inside, the mansion features soaring ceilings and expansive floor-to-ceiling windows that flood nearly every room with natural light while framing panoramic views across Biscayne Bay. The design embraces modern luxury without sacrificing warmth. Spacious living areas flow seamlessly toward outdoor entertaining spaces, creating the feeling that the home extends naturally into the surrounding waterfront landscape. One of the property's standout features is its resort-style atmosphere. Covered terraces overlook a stunning infinity edge swimming pool that appears to blend directly into the bay beyond. Nearby, a fully equipped outdoor kitchen, lounge spaces, and entertainment areas make the estate ideal for hosting large gatherings while still maintaining complete privacy. Ross has always emphasized that luxury should also be functional, and Star Island reflects that philosophy throughout every room. Inside the home, attention to detail becomes even more impressive. The gourmet kitchen features premium appliances, oversized granite countertops, and an expansive island designed for everything from casual breakfasts to elaborate dinner parties. Upstairs, each guest suite opens onto its own private terrace overlooking either the sparkling bay or Miami's famous skyline. The primary suite elevates the experience even further with panoramic waterfront views, an enormous spa-inspired bathroom, a deep soaking tub, rainfall shower, and direct access to outdoor living spaces. Beyond the main house, Ross added additional luxury touches, including a peaceful Japanese-inspired garden, a secluded hot tub, and a 40-foot private dock capable of accommodating luxury boats. The property allows Ross to transition effortlessly from home to the water, reinforcing the relaxed yet sophisticated atmosphere that defines Miami's most prestigious neighborhoods. Of course, extraordinary homes are only part of Rick Ross' larger empire. His love for automobiles has become nearly as famous as his music. Over the years, Ross has assembled a collection featuring some of the world's most recognizable luxury and performance vehicles. Among the highlights is a Ferrari 488 Spider, known for its twin-turbocharged V8 engine and breathtaking performance. For daily driving, Ross frequently enjoys his Mercedes-AMG G63, combining rugged capability with luxury comfort. Business meetings often call for the elegance of a Rolls-Royce Phantom, famous for its handcrafted interior and signature Starlight headliner, while his Rolls-Royce Wraith blends grand touring luxury with impressive V12 performance. Each vehicle serves a different purpose, reflecting Ross' appreciation for craftsmanship rather than collecting cars simply for display. Ross' collection also celebrates automotive history. One of his favorites is a beautifully restored 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air, a classic American icon admired for its timeless styling, chrome detailing, and nostalgic appeal. Sitting alongside that vintage masterpiece is something entirely different, a Lamborghini Aventador, whose aggressive styling, scissor doors, and naturally aspirated V12 engine make it one of the loudest and most attention-grabbing supercars in his garage. Whether showcasing vintage American craftsmanship or cutting-edge Italian engineering, Ross has built a collection reflecting both personal taste and automotive excellence. Fans attending his annual car show often get a chance to see many of these vehicles up close, further strengthening the connection between his lifestyle and the events he hosts at Promised Land. Luxury on the ground naturally extends into the sky. In 2023, Ross expanded his transportation portfolio by acquiring a 2012 Gulfstream G550 private jet through Maybach Air LLC. The aircraft reportedly cost close to $20 million and quickly became another symbol of his expanding empire. More than simply transportation, the jet functions as a flying office and luxury suite capable of handling long international flights. Premium leather seating converts into beds, elegant wood finishes create a refined atmosphere, and a fully equipped galley allows Ross and his guests to travel comfortably across continents. With a range of approximately 6,700 nautical miles, the aircraft is capable of non-stop flights between destinations, such as Miami and Dubai, supporting both Ross' business interests and personal travel schedule. He has occasionally shared moments aboard the aircraft with family, reinforcing that the jet serves practical purposes beyond simply making headlines. By now, it becomes clear that Rick Ross' luxury lifestyle isn't built around isolated purchases. Every mansion, vehicle, and aircraft fits into a much larger strategy centered on ownership, entrepreneurship, and long-term wealth creation. Yet perhaps the most surprising part of Ross' story isn't found inside his homes or garages. It's the extensive business empire and investment portfolio quietly generating income behind the scenes. Beyond music, Ross has spent years building multiple companies, restaurant franchises, brand partnerships, and investment opportunities that continue expanding his fortune year after year. If Rick Ross mansions, luxury cars, and private jet grab the headlines, the real foundation of his wealth is something much less flashy: his business empire. Throughout interviews, Ross has repeatedly explained that music was never meant to be his only source of income. While many artists focus almost entirely on album sales and touring, Ross spent years building multiple streams of revenue designed to continue generating income whether he was releasing music or not. When asked about online estimates claiming his net worth sits around $150 million, Ross laughed and suggested those figures have never accurately reflected his finances. Rather than confirming a specific number, he explained that people on the internet simply don't know the full picture because they aren't aware of all the banks, companies, partnerships, and investments connected to his business portfolio. According to Ross, his wealth comes from hustling non-stop, through approximately 25 different ventures and partnerships, constantly traveling between business opportunities across the United States and internationally. That entrepreneurial mindset explains why Ross has continued expanding far beyond music. One of his best-known investments is his ownership of Wingstop franchises. While many celebrities endorse restaurants for advertising campaigns, Ross chose something different: ownership. Over the years, he has built a portfolio of more than 25 Wingstop locations, turning fast food restaurants into one of the most consistent pillars of his financial success. He has frequently spoken about how important it is to own businesses rather than simply promote them. In addition to Wingstop, Ross has also invested in Checkers restaurants and developed partnerships with premium beverage brands, including Luc Belaire, Bumbu Rum, and McQueen and the Violet Fog Gin. Each partnership reflects the same philosophy: create long-term revenue streams instead of depending solely on entertainment income. According to Ross, building wealth means making money from multiple directions at the same time rather than relying on one career alone. Ross has also shown a willingness to explore emerging industries. In recent years, he expanded into the cannabis business, invested in a digital health startup, and continued searching for additional entrepreneurial opportunities. During interviews, he often encourages younger artists to think beyond recording studios and concert stages. Music, he argues, should become the platform that opens doors to ownership, not the final destination itself. That philosophy has helped transform Ross into one of hip-hop's most recognizable businessmen. Whether speaking at investment conferences, appearing at entrepreneurial events, or mentoring younger artists, Ross consistently returns to the same message: ownership creates freedom. His career demonstrates how entertainment success can become the starting point for building something much larger over time. Another part of Ross' empire that often receives less attention is his collection of luxury items and jewelry. Beyond designer watches and exotic vehicles, Ross has assembled pieces that reflect both personal style and symbolism. Among them is a custom gold key pendant representing success and ambition, a diamond-covered basketball inspired by the Miami Heat, and perhaps his most famous piece, a diamond self-portrait pendant reportedly valued at over $1 million, complete with tiny diamond sunglasses modeled after Ross himself. His watch collection is equally impressive, featuring luxury timepieces, such as a Rolex Day-Date, and an extraordinary Richard Mille decorated with hundreds of sapphires. While these purchases often generate headlines, Ross has repeatedly suggested that they represent rewards for years of hard work rather than the primary focus of his financial strategy. In his own view, appreciating assets like businesses and real estate matter far more than luxury accessories alone. Despite the extravagant lifestyle, Ross has also spoken about the importance of giving back. Throughout the years, he has supported numerous charitable initiatives, including boss-up grants for small businesses, donations helping keep healthcare clinics operating in Georgia, partnerships with Habitat for Humanity, contributions to community projects in Nigeria, and school supply programs designed to support students and mentorship initiatives. These efforts rarely receive the same level of media attention as his car collection or private jet, yet they reveal another side of his public identity. Ross has often explained that success carries responsibility, particularly toward communities that helped shape his own journey growing up in Carol City. By combining entrepreneurship with philanthropy, he hopes to inspire younger generations to believe that business success and community support can go hand in hand. Away from business and luxury, Ross also credits personal growth with changing his perspective on life. He has openly discussed experiencing serious health scares, including life-threatening seizures, moments that forced him to reconsider his priorities. Those experiences, he says, reinforced the importance of taking care of himself while continuing to build for the future. Ross frequently speaks about family as another major motivation behind his relentless work ethic. As a father, he has said that creating lasting opportunities for future generations matters just as much as enjoying success today. That combination of ambition, family responsibility, and long-term investing helps explain why his empire has continued expanding year after year rather than slowing down after achieving musical success. Looking at the complete picture, Rick Ross' journey becomes far more impressive than simply owning expensive homes or driving luxury cars. From a young football player in Carol City to one of hip-hop's most recognizable entrepreneurs, Ross has consistently demonstrated an ability to transform opportunities into long-term investments. Promised Land, Star Island, Maybach Music Group, restaurant franchises, luxury vehicles, private aviation, and dozens of business partnerships all represent different chapters of the same story. Belief that success should continue growing long after the spotlight fades. It's that philosophy, more than any individual purchase, that truly defines Rick Ross' remarkable empire. When people hear the name Rick Ross, it's easy to think first about platinum albums, chart-topping hits, or his unforgettable rap persona. But after taking a closer look at everything he's built, it's clear that music is only one chapter of a much bigger story. Over the last 2 decades, Ross has transformed himself from a successful recording artist into one of hip-hop's most recognizable entrepreneurs. His journey shows that true wealth isn't measured by one expensive purchase or one viral social media moment. It's measured by creating assets that continue growing year after year. At the center of that philosophy stands Promised Land, the estate that has become almost as famous as Rick Ross himself. What started as the former home of Evander Holyfield is now one of the largest celebrity-owned properties in America. With hundreds of acres of land, luxury living spaces, horse stables, lakes, farmland, event areas, and endless green fields, the property reflects Ross' long-term belief that land is one of the smartest investments a person can make. Instead of buying the estate simply to impress people, Ross has transformed it into a business asset, a filming location, the home of his annual Rick Ross car and bike show, and a symbol of everything he has accomplished through years of relentless work. It represents more than luxury, it represents ownership. His Star Island mansion tells another side of the same story. While Promised Land offers privacy, nature, and room to expand, the Miami waterfront estate delivers elegance, breathtaking bay views, luxury yacht access, and one of the most prestigious addresses in South Florida. Together, the 2 homes perfectly reflect Ross' ability to balance peaceful country living with the energy of one of America's most glamorous cities. Rather than choosing one lifestyle, he has built environments that support every aspect of his personal and professional life. The same strategy appears throughout everything else Ross owns. His impressive collection of Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, classic American cars, and Mercedes luxury SUVs isn't simply about showing off, it reflects a lifelong appreciation for automotive craftsmanship. His Gulfstream G550 private jet serves not only as a luxury aircraft, but also as a practical business tool, allowing him to travel efficiently between meetings, performances, investments, and family commitments. Even his now famous John Deere tractor has become part of his identity, reminding fans that despite the luxury surrounding him, Ross genuinely enjoys maintaining the land he worked so hard to acquire. Perhaps the most important lesson from Rick Ross' story isn't found inside any mansion or luxury vehicle. It's found in the way he approaches business. Throughout countless interviews, Ross has consistently encouraged people to think beyond short-term income and focus on ownership. Restaurant franchises, real estate investments, beverage partnerships, cannabis ventures, digital startups, record label ownership, and countless other business opportunities have allowed him to create multiple streams of income that don't depend entirely on releasing new music. Whether or not online estimates accurately reflect his total wealth, Ross has made one thing very clear: building an empire requires far more than making hit songs. It requires patience, discipline, and the willingness to invest in opportunities that continue growing long after the spotlight moves elsewhere. His story also highlights another important reality. Success doesn't eliminate challenges. Ross has openly discussed serious health scares, demanding work schedules, and the pressures that come with managing multiple businesses. Rather than slowing him down, those experiences appear to have strengthened his determination to create something lasting for his family and future generations. That mindset helps explain why he continues expanding into new industries instead of becoming comfortable with past achievements. Today, Rick Ross represents something larger than the traditional image of a rapper. He's become a businessman, investor, property owner, mentor, philanthropist, an entrepreneur whose influence reaches far beyond the recording studio. While many artists build careers around chart success, Ross has built an ecosystem of businesses designed to continue creating opportunities for decades to come. Whether it's through real estate, hospitality, music, or investments, his focus remains the same: ownership, growth, and leaving behind a legacy that extends beyond entertainment. Now it's your turn. If you could choose just one part of Rick Ross' empire, what would it be? House with Flower, the incredible Promised Land estate. Palm Tree, the stunning Star Island waterfront mansion. Airplane, his Gulfstream private jet. Oncoming car, his luxury car collection. Briefcase, or the business empire that's quietly making him even wealthier every year. Let us know your choice in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Rick Ross' incredible lifestyle and business empire, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest celebrity lifestyle, luxury, and entertainment breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.